there's a lot of nonsense in digital marketing for PI, especially because agencies are the ones that primarily sell the services. And the PI guys, you could blame, I know both sides. Like I know the agency side, I know the PI guys. You probably have seen me speak at the conferences for the PI folks about SEO and that kind of thing. But the bottom line is that there are a few people who are pretty well known in the world of SEO and PPC for PI, but what they're saying is almost completely wrong, and they use it to sell high ticket packages, largely through implementing glossary terms.
How are you?
Good, good. I turned 50 yesterday.
Hey, congrats. Happy birthday. That's a big milestone.
Yeah, it's a big number.
Do you feel any different?
You know, I still feel like I'm like 23 or something. I don't know. People say a lot about old age, but I never really felt like I got old. I don't know. I feel like a 20-year-old with 30 years of work experience.
Hey, kudos to you. You built what you wanted, so maybe work doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. I mean, I worked the first 10 plus years of my career because I felt like I had to, and I went to school and I did all that. But now I do whatever I want. I'm an adult. No one can tell me what to do.
Yeah, it's cool. Your
Hang out with people I
background
love.
where it changes color is really cool. Is that just a light filter?
It is a hue light,
That's
and
cool.
there's different settings. Like you can have it stay at one color, you can have it be like a fireplace, you can have it be, there's like, you can imagine
Yeah.
like all the different settings. Yeah, pretty cool.
Very cool. Well, I reached out because I know you're like an SEO guru and you have a ton of experience with Google. And I moved to Milwaukee about last year or so, and I've been working as a marketer for this law firm that does personal injury. We
Yep.
also do family law and union representation, but our founder, Chris MacGillis, doesn't really care about those two specific
Right.
areas. He really only cares about personal injury. So I do SEO for certain keywords that he wanted. They're provided by him that he wanted us to do keyword research on. He just kind of sometimes doesn't understand that SEO is a slow game. And I
Yeah.
try to tell him that. And I try to like give him like, data reports and stuff that shows like, hey, our SEO is growing. This is a small thing that, in the long run will be great, but he wants to be, up there. He thinks there's like other things to do. And that's kind of where my knowledge was like, I just kind of ask ChatGPT sometimes what to do or ask AI.
Yeah.
And that's not a reliable source on it.
No, because it doesn't know what's real or not. So it's just combining what's heard from everywhere else, which is the
Correct.
internet, which is random. There's no
Yeah.
source of truth with ChatGPT.
Yeah. And then I've been asking some other people on LinkedIn and some other SEO professionals, and then some of them just don't really respond or even care to look at it.
Why would they
Um,
help you?
yeah, exactly. They have no reason to.
And if they're any good, they'd be a competitor probably, right?
For sure.
Especially in PI, which is his own category.
Yeah. So I was like, well, let's see if Dennis maybe could hop on or, give me some pointers for 5 to 10 minutes. Cause
Sure.
sometimes that's kind of what I'm looking for is just like, hey, like your website is lacking on this. It needs to
Yep.
improve on this. But
Yep.
I don't know. That's what kind of where you're the master of everything.
No, I just have more experience than anyone else.
Yeah. True.
Well, I'm glad you did PI, and I'm glad that you are in an area that I think is, shall I say, has a lot of opportunity because there's a lot of nonsense in digital marketing for PI, especially because agencies are the ones that primarily sell the services. And the PI guys, you could blame, I know both sides. Like I know the agency side, I know the PI guys. You probably have seen me speak at the conferences for the PI folks about SEO and that kind of thing. But the bottom line is that there are a few people who are pretty well known in the world of SEO and PPC for PI, but what they're saying is almost completely wrong. And they use it to sell high ticket packages, largely through implementing glossary terms. Like my friend Daryl Isaacs is one of the biggest PIs. He's the biggest one in Kentucky, and he's done $1 billion, and he paid this guy $70,000 a month for SEO. And this guy has a book. His name is Jason Hennessy, and he wrote the SEO whatever guide. But I want to show you what's real. And I'm glad you're in house because I want to see you actually implement all these things. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So you can use whatever set of tools you want. I think it's like Nike or Adidas. It doesn't, like if you suck at basketball, switching to like Adidas isn't going to matter. And for a Milwaukee PI firm, you have I mean, not that domain authority is like the end all be all, but you have like a fair amount, like a low to medium amount, and the quality of the links are, I mean, you generated a lot of links, but I'd say those are pretty low authority.
Okay.
And you have had some increase in these links and an up and down in the traffic. If we look at your keywords, you use all these kinds of tools, right? Do you have a favorite?
I
SEMrush, these
use
guys.
SEMrush. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I was
I've
on the
never
advisory
heard of
board for
this
them.
one that you're on. So
This one, I
that-
think this is probably better known. SEMrush did have supposedly a larger database, but the people who were, let's just say, well known in the world of SEO were, like me, were on the advisory board for Ahrefs, but then they lost a lot of their people.
okay.
I mean, it could be because of the whole like Ukraine thing and Russia and whatever. But so I imagine that your guy wants to rank on truck accident, car accident attorney, city name, right?
Yeah, all of the above. Yep.
Right. And that's the ones they always freak out about. So you've had some good movement on a lot of these terms, and even your location service pages are moving up, right?
Yep.
So we could take the most competitive one, like Milwaukee, right? Obviously, there's all the, I can't even say it, like Waukesha and what is it, Kenosha, all the different sort of city ones, but Milwaukee's the bigger one. And even if you go all the way out to Chicago, which you probably don't, but let's just say, you've got car accident, TBI, truck accident, times all the different keywords, which creates all the location service pages, right?
Yep.
So if we start with this main one, which is car accident and Milwaukee, because the site only has kind of a low to medium amount of authority, even though this I think might be your top page of all the pages, besides the homepage, which is largely brand oriented. There's not a lot of links that are coming to it. And therefore the chicken and egg is that you don't have that many keywords or enough traffic for Google to really see. So we need to do kind of podcasting of other businesses in Milwaukee or whatnot, just to be able to drive a stronger Milwaukee signal. And then your guy is probably super, like the PI guys all know each other. Like there's one like main guy in every state.
Yep.
So he should, or with your help, be interviewing all these other PI guys, even like little cell phone sorts of videos, just so we can establish the vertical, which is PI and all the things within PI, and the geo, which is Milwaukee and all the related sorts of cities. So you
Okay, so
have,
you're telling me that Chris MacGillis should be interviewing like Groth Law or interviewing the guy at PKSD and talking to them. So like sitting in a room or sitting on a conference call like this and then
yeah,
creating sound bites and snippets.
yeah, which is what you already were doing with your podcast, kind of.
Yep.
So if we go, and by the way, not to be offensive, but all these guys have huge egos. I work with a lot of the big PI guys.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they all think they're the
Yeah.
best. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
which is fine. I mean, I totally get it, like the billboards and that whole kind of thing. But if we look at, can you spell MacGillis? Is that right?
Put an A in there and then you're good for it's
MacGillis.
Yep.
Okay. So he's not found in Knowledge Graph. Let's see.
Unless his full name, because his full name's Christopher, if that
Christopher,
matters.
but it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's under his name, his law firm name, MacGillis Wiemer.
Yeah. So Graham's the other partner. So
Okay.
they combine names.
Okay. So he has a classic. This is the most common issue of people who are figureheads, personal brands. And we see this especially with PI. So Google doesn't understand who Chris MacGillis is as a person, because his about, the person about, is under the company about. So what needs to happen is that we can spin up a quick personal brand website, and then all the things about him.
Yeah, I'm building that
personal
right
brand
now for him. Chris
You should just
MacGillis.
use our framework. We have one, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'll do it without all the tools in the way. But like if you search for me, right, you already know about this, right? This is what we want to have show up, all this.
Yep.
Right. And all these pieces, this ties to obviously my personal brand site, but it still ties to my company, and my company points to this and vice versa. So I'm training Google to show that there's all this stuff about me, that I teach $1 a day. People want to know my net worth, all this stuff. Right. So
Yep.
people are looking for Chris MacGillis. They're going to have questions related to this, which we have to answer. And you could just interview him in a podcast of like 10 or 15 questions, and you just ask him the most common questions. for the company, the PAA. You understand how to get the PAA and how to organize that and that kind of thing, right?
Not that great, Dennis. I'm going to be honest.
Well, good, because none of these SEO experts want to admit this. So the fact that you're willing to say, like, people aren't willing to, if you're not willing to admit you don't know, then how are you ever going to. Okay. So Chris MacGillis, there's some stuff on the about, which is usually where it is, but that shouldn't be. So the about should be about the company, and you can still have quick bios, but they need to link back to the brands, and especially his co-founder partner too, right?
Well, if that
So,
top one's going to his attorney bio page.
right.
Yep.
Which is super common. You see it all the time. Then there's this X one, LinkedIn, great.
Yeah.
Facebook, yep. But there's very little else about him. There's very few snippets. Even if we go Christopher MacGillis, with PI especially, it's driven by, for better or worse, there's always the guy, right? The face of the guy. So we need to, and this completely aligns with, PIs want to be seen. So MacGillis. So he's not even, yeah, okay. That's what I thought. He's not even in Google's knowledge graph.
Okay. So then on blitzmetrics.com, I'm able to walk through the steps and do that.
Yep. And remember, this is don't kill the messenger.
Yeah.
We're just querying Google's API. So Google doesn't know who Chris MacGillis is. So the best it knows is like, well, must be like these other things. Like there's lots of things about him, but they're all just kind of like all over the place and not tied together. And that does affect the firm's SEO because Google's looking for EEAT. So the real
abbreviation again.
Experience, expertise, authority, trust.
Yes. Okay. That's what I thought it was.
And so we wrote this whole article on EEAT, and I like to have fun too. So I called it I Love to Eat. And everything we teach, Ethan, is Googleable. So I will put it into the chat here for you. There's that. And there's this Knowledge Graph Explorer tool. So I'll put that in here too, which you should use. You should Google yourself too. Let's just see.
Yeah, I don't even think I have one created for myself. So
I thought we were working on one for you. Oh, you don't have one, do you? Did I spell that right?
I thought you put a random letter in there that kind of ruined it, but
oops, you're right. The cage.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Well, that means you haven't repurposed your videos into your website, which I think we created for you.
Yeah, I sent you a message about that.
And I replied to you like a couple months ago, never heard back.
Oh, did you? Then that's on me.
I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Figure you're busy with whatever.
Oh, always busy with life.
Yeah, you and I both. Yeah, we've asked you a couple times like, hey, look, I'm paying money. I'm paying my money, Ethan.
Oh, yeah, I got
your domain. Look. I said, hey, Ethan, what's up? Another one. Hey, haven't heard from you. Hey, haven't heard from you.
Right? Oh, wow.
Felix is like, hey, Ethan, and we're replying to your original. Yeah, so this is your email because you replied to it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you can see I replied.
Yeah.
I replied. You see every one of these boomerangs is coming back at me. This is my project management thing inside my email. Comes back at me every time I don't hear back.
Oh, right? That's cool.
So I'm like, all right, I guess he doesn't care. So this is now going to come back in March of 2025 if we still don't hear back from you. See that?
Oh, I'll just respond to that tonight. I didn't even see that.
Yeah. So all right. Well, so we built a site for you, but
yeah,
you have all this video. You can use the AI to do all this stuff for you immediately. AI has come so far in the last 6 months.
I know. I got to research more on it.
You don't need to research more. You just need to do it.
Well, which AI do you use to do it?
You should use the 01 preview, which is the latest one that has thinking.
Okay.
Between that and 4.0, 4.0 if you have attachments. Otherwise, you could just say, because it's got memory. That's why people want to argue about what the best AI is. But for you and me, because we're working with people who are well known and there's a lot of information, the memory concept is more important than the fact that like Gemini has 1.5 million token for the token window or like this. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Okay. What the most important thing is the memory, and then the multi-step reasoning, which is what you have with this like thinking mode.
Got it.
And what do you know about him and I? So we always want to assess what information it has to see if it has anything.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it tells you, now you used the chat to like talk to these things before, right? But here it's actually telling you it's different steps. reasoning. So the point of reasoning is it's going through step by step by step instead of just a one-shot prompt. Okay, so,
Oh,
well, I was on his podcast a year ago, about, right?
yeah, probably.
And now he's the digital marketing guy. It's a personal injury law firm, MacGillis Wiemer. I'm giving it context, right? Which some people call prompt. We don't use prompt anymore.
Okay.
He's wanting to improve the firm's SEO on the commonly known terms since his boss, Chris, is somewhat impatient. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to it like a person.
Yep.
Okay. And also, oh, I already pressed enter. I'll continue to add some more context. We also are using our personal brand website builder for his personal brand, Ethan's personal brand. I obviously got to be clear on which person I'm talking about. Ethan's personal brand, which is, of course, the same one we're using on mine, because obviously, if it's not any good, I got to use it on mine too, on mine
Yep.
and a ton of other friends. Okay, yeah, yep, all those things. Okay, so I'm just going to say more context, and here is the keyword data for the site. It already knows, but I'll just say because it can tell from the ugly copy paste, and I'll grab that copy paste. Help guide us on what to do with the CO. Happy to give you the top, give you the content of the top pages if you need it, which it'll say it does, and answer any questions that you need, right? Because remember, you understand the power of the AI now is it can ask us. Weird, because we're
Yeah.
asking it, but we can ask it to ask us if that makes sense, right? Because I'm talking to like a person. That's the
Yep.
whole key. Okay, so it already knows it's Ahrefs because it pasted in all this stuff, right? So it like knows all this. Okay, and I'm going to paste in some other stuff, and then I'm going to talk to it intelligently because I happen to know about SEO. So the results you get from SEO, Ethan, are only as good as your own knowledge itself. It's like someone who doesn't know math given a calculator, like they're not going to be better at math. You still need to understand math,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so it's going through these steps. See, look at all the reasoning, right? Car wreck, attorney near me, brand terms, right? On and off page stuff, right?
Yep.
It's doing this. So this 27 seconds is costing almost 75 cents for it. Like it's actually that's why the thing is we're like preloading it by asking these preliminary questions. We're trying to force it to basically spend a couple dollars for us because the thing is stingy, right? Because like they'd lose money on the this is basically a buffet. You pay $30 a month and you can eat all you want, right?
Yep.
So I'm intentionally just picking out at the buffet, eating all the steak and shrimp and the expensive things, right? Okay.
Yeah. Totally.
So it ranks sort of on the low to medium difficulty terms, right? See, these keyword difficulties are all green. So that doesn't mean they're not good. In fact, we want the terms that have a lot of volume that are low keyword difficulty because that's easy to dominate. And you can see here, 242 out of the 5,000 on car wreck lawyer near me, showing up in the local pack and other places. Not bad, not a bad start, but we could certainly move up a lot more. We could get a third of this 5,000 instead of only 200, right? So let's see. Many high volume keywords are not in the top three. Yeah, pretty obvious. Some of them are difficult. Yeah, with a lot of competition, but there's ads. Of course, you're going to run local service ads and regular ads. So the best SEO strategy is, of course, reviews. Okay. So yeah, we need to fix some of the content here, which is pretty easy. So it understands SEO because we gave it data and context. Yeah, we want the ones that are just kind of out of range. So, position 5. I'd say like 5 to 10, maybe not to 15, but okay. Low keyword difficulty, high volume. Yeah, yeah. Okay. This I don't think really matters all that much. All these SEO people will say nonsense like that. But really, you need to have more EEAT. Publish stuff under your name and under his name. Cross link between the personal sites, right? And
Mhm.
well, also, Chris doesn't have a personal brand site. We can't find him in the Google Knowledge Graph Explorer. Same for Ethan, but that will change quickly when we start repurposing content via content. You've heard about Content Factory. Now let's see. Okay. So this Appleton one is apparently the strongest one of these. Let's see. What about this URL? Does this have the most keywords out of the, what do you have, like 1,200? No, it's not bad. It's more than 10%. Zero page authority. The domain, not that the 25 is huge to begin with, but the zero here. Well, why is that? Okay, so this is Appleton, top-rated Appleton car accident lawyer, solving your legal problems with constant. This is all generic.
Yep.
Generic, 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 super generic. ChatGPT can write all this. You're trying to put internal links. Sure, certainly understand your, oh, okay, linking out. That used to help to link to high authority sites. Now it doesn't. Get in touch with our Appleton car accident attorney. Okay, okay. There's a little bit of trust here. There's re-putting the bios in and just some general disclaimers. And okay, so is it not obvious what's going on here? It's super obvious, isn't it?
A lot of it is just the same relevant information every time.
It's this, these are just Mad Libs pages. So all these other city pages are
Yeah.
just the same thing. It's like, oh, top rated, whatever city name. Right.
Yep.
So I'll say this is the location service. This is one. This is so much fun. I don't know if you like, I have fun doing this. It's kind of like you were saying earlier. Please rate on EEAT and PAA on a scale of 1 to 10. List out the PAA missing so Ethan can interview Chris to knock these out, right?
Absolutely.
Paste. Oops, that's the URL. I want to actually grab the. I'm telling you, Ethan, I am a professional copy paster. Copy. I'm so good at copy pasting. Paste. Okay. You have the paid one, right? This is the $30 a month one. Where
I don't have the paid one.
can you get Chris to pay for this?
Oh, for sure.
All right. I can even add you to mine, which means I have to pay $30. And then okay. So, the first level of paid is $20 a month just for your own personal one. But if you pay $30 a month, then you have a team and you can share these chats. So we can collaborate and I can add you to this one and you could see all that kind of stuff, right? So, I think it's worth the $30. Basically $1 a day. Haha. All right. So it's saying, so EEAT is experience, expertise, authority, trust.
Yep.
It's saying 4.5 out of 10 because you haven't shown any real experience. You haven't shown expertise. You haven't shown things related to that city, to Appleton, it's just like it's nothing there. It's just a generically written page, as you know, yet it still ranks because your GMB has decent reviews, I think. So when it's rating it like 4 and 5 and whatnot, that really means like 1 or 2 because, the AI is really polite.
Yeah.
So this is really trash. And here, PAA, it's rating it a 2, which you almost never see it rate 2 because you're not answering these questions, right? And I'm sure this is answered somewhere. Maybe he's got videos, maybe there's articles, but the best thing to do is you need to, like, these pages are so thin and so weak. Like, look at these. You do have location service pages here. Let's look at like Madison or Milwaukee, the more competitive one. Okay, fine, right? Milwaukee. And it looks just like these other ones. Wisconsin, personal injury, solving illegal. There's like nothing here, right? There's nothing. There's literally nothing. It's just navigational stuff, right? Why should this, if you're Google, you're asking, why should this page rank on anything?
Well, you're hoping it does first off, but.
Well, maybe you pay an SEO magician all this stuff, right? Because they know the magic of the search engines, right? As opposed to what's plainly, blatantly obvious right here, right?
Yeah.
So obvious. And then you go even further, dog bite, trucking. Of course, the PIs want the trucking cases, right? So here, Milwaukee truck accident lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this stuff here, I mean, this seems to be sort of helpful content because like, oh, if you're in a car accident, here's what you need, or truck accident, this is what you need and what to do. But let's say I decided I wanted to make a blog on what happens if you're in Milwaukee and get hit by a truck, like, an Uber or anyone who's like commercial, right?
Yeah.
I could use ChatGPT to answer this question and do it just as well as you, right? Better, probably.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
So then how do you do better than that? Well, you need to start weaving in EEAT, start weaving in things that are, that are relevant, that show real experience and expertise and all that in Milwaukee. So if I do Wisconsin in my, I showed you this thing like Google Photos, right, off my phone automatically.
Yeah.
So I was in Wisconsin a couple weeks ago. with my buddy Liam and Jack Hughes and Jeff Hughes. And Liam's dad, Jeff Hughes, runs Sterling Lawyers, which is one of the largest family law firms in Wisconsin. And there's a lot of proof of this because there's real experience. Go to McDonald's, we're eating steak, all this stuff is here. So, and then if that's not enough, I'm on this guy's podcast, right? And this was 5 days ago, it says. This is the founder of Jeff Sterling Hughes is the founder of Sterling Lawyers, right? But if you view his posts, he posted this 2 days ago. This course taught by Dennis Yu is totally legit. That's cool. What I'm trying to do is show Google that I'm reputable, and you should be doing the same thing, right? So let's go back a little further and see, am I showing that I'm reputable in the world of legal, for example? So this guy has grown his firm from nothing to 15 million a year. So that's pretty awesome, right? And he's interviewing all the other top lawyers. And
yeah, I told Chris he's got to do a podcast and do this stuff.
yeah, so Jeff's son, one of his sons, Liam, came out to Vegas for a week, and I put him on stage, built his brand, all this. And then he says, so proud of my son, Liam, for his first public speaking thing, right? Building his brand from nothing. And here, had the privilege of spending a few days with Dennis in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's near Milwaukee.
Yeah. And so this is, so if I were to write an article about mentoring digital marketers that are in-house that do law, for law firms, I have real proof, real EEAT. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to boast you. I'm just trying to show you how I think about showing Judge Google that I'm legit instead of just using ChatGPT to write an article on, the 10 ways on how you can fix the marketing at a law firm, right? So now I can take these real ingredients and enhance these location service pages. If I look at any of these here, this random woman or, this family, that's this old couple, right? How many other places is this same old couple used, right? Finding romance at a senior living community, the muscle wasting condition sarcopenia, 6 relaxing Mother's Day activities, Alzheimer's, women may be underdiagnosed, triangle arthritis. Okay. So do you see that so many other places are using this exact same stock art?
Yeah.
And then all of these are this way. So how does this fit in with EEAT? Why am I mentioning this? I mean, there's nothing wrong with these two old people, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's used in all these other places.
So you're saying right there, it'd be better so we just did a branding photo shoot. It'd be better to have those photos in there rather than those stock photos right there.
So what is Google looking for?
Originality, right?
But why?
I don't really know how to say why, but I think it's just because everybody being original allows you to stand out. And I think that's what Google's looking for.
Right. Because any random spammer could spin up a site just like this with the happy couple and use ChatGPT to write up all the stuff on dog bite and car accident and trucks and, TBI and brain hemorrhage. And I could do a better site than them with zero experience, expertise, authority, and trust. Because the AI can do all this, and I could use the stock art. I can make the site load faster. You know what I mean? So they need to leverage the fact that they actually do the thing that they say they do. It's that simple. And if you do that, and I've collected stuff I'm proving that I've been in Wisconsin. I was at Marquette, and I'm a former almost professional athlete, and they did all this testing on me, and there's proof, right? Look, here's a bone density scan. I'm at Z-score of 5. I have 5 standard deviations above the average human in terms of my bone strength. Right?
So Chris MacGillis goes on this Waterwoods Gillespie show. So we got to take that content and put that on the website then.
Or link to it or have, so if we look at, we're trying to demonstrate experience, expertise, authority, trust. So that'll show up in links, that'll show up in content, that'll show up on different sites. It doesn't have to be on.
Yeah, right there. John Gillespie's Water and Woods. He's on there all the time.
Great. So this one here.
But they got to write about it too, though. They just can't have the logo.
I mean, it still counts, but this is kind of weak because it doesn't impart any signal.
Yeah.
And this is the home page. Where's the articles? So if I look at these links, let's see how many of them are best links. 1. You have 1. That's it. Only 1 good link of all these links.
So how do we make these links better, Dennis?
Well, you have to have links from sites that ideally are high authority, are relevant, that carry industry power, right? And have some level of depth. And so it's not like auto-generated nonsense. So I think that
Hmm.
the easiest thing to do is we can just repurpose our conversation here. You can be the guest author, and we link in several places. One is we link from blitzmetrics.com, which is domain rating 62 and is very well known in digital marketing, right? 62. Why? Because of I've been in all the media. You understand, like, this is because every time I've been in the media or speaking, that generates more links for me. So I'm sitting on a ton of SEO power, right?
Hmm.
So you write an article about that's relevant to what we're doing here and say, hey, this is my story, Ethan. I graduated college, or, while I was in college, I learned about SEO and personal branding and digital with Dennis, and not as a testimonial, but just like something helpful that actually like shows, like, because this is the stuff that we do, right? And I got a job working at a law firm, and here's some of the things I'm working on, right?
Hmm.
And I'm learning about EAT and Google's helpful content updates and answering PAA and, fixing these location service pages to be more powerful. And then as you're talking about these items, Ethan, you can link to them. So that's a way of legitimately passing link juice from some of my sites over to the law firm, right? In a way
Hmm.
that won't get us in trouble, right?
Got it.
Yeah, because we're well known in SEO and digital and all that. So if a site that's already very well known and authoritative in this area links to these particular some of these pages, obviously don't just like link to all of them, because then it's we get in trouble for link farming. We don't do that, right? Just a couple of link to your personal brand website, and you can harvest power off of my site here, right?
Cool.
Not as a testimonial, but as a legitimate way to actually teach other law firms or whatnot about SEO, teach other young adults from the angle of, hey, it's really not that hard. Like, show them, yeah, we were using ChatGPT, and ChatGPT, is helping us fix this. But if we don't know how to talk to it, it's not going to advise us properly, right? See, it's that easy. So you got to build his brand, build your brand, go to each of these location service pages. Obviously, you have all these things on the services, but then you have all the locations too, but they're all thin. So you look at any of them. Which one you want to look at?
Just do like car accidents is fine.
All right. MVA all day. So car accident attorney Milwaukee, which I think we looked at. All these pages look the same anyway, right? See, it's rotating through this thing here.
Yep.
I mean, at least you say 50 years. You should always link to your GMB. Why is it important to link to your GMB? Or you have multiple GMBs? Oh, here it is. Okay. And these GMBs are not even filled out. Where's the Q&A? Last Q&A was 2 years ago. You can ask yourself the same questions and answer it. The Q&A is nothing more than PAA, right?
Oh, you can keep asking yourself the same questions,
Not the same questions, but
but different questions.
well, there's other questions that we know we need to ask. And plus, these
Yeah.
are from a while ago, and then these are kind of weak, right? Like your GMB's not filled out. You need to have a ton of photos and videos and pictures and all that. Yeah, like there's almost nothing here. Look, it's freaking almost, what do you have, like 3 pictures? You got to add a ton. You got to add like 50 pictures, 10 videos at least
Pictures of the office or just like what
of the
we
office, of the
do?
people, of clients, of being in the community, of giving checks to, clients, of all this stuff.
Okay.
Of you can upload videos saying, hey, I'm Chris MacGillis, and I started this it doesn't have to be this professional dressed up in a suit like you're going to trial to argue before the judge kind of stuff, like, because you're dealing with humans, right? And so humans want to relate to other humans, but most personal injury attorneys they're making content as if they're arguing before the judge, if that makes sense.
Got it.
Not very
Okay.
human, right?
Yeah.
There's very little. When was the
Well,
last
there's a
review?
lot I can certainly add. That's something I really didn't know much about. So there's a lot I can
Your
definitely
last
add.
review is 7 months ago.
Yeah, we lack on that pretty hard.
So the most powerful thing for your SEO is actually to get more reviews, because that sends a real signal, right? EEAT, right? Real experience. Google
Yeah,
looks at this
I've been telling our firm that is the biggest thing we need to do.
and build it into the process, right? Build it into intake. You can even, if you do it carefully, you can even write a review, because you don't have to be a client. You know why, right? Because you can review based on character.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could just say nice things about it
Yeah,
if
but
you
you don't say fake things like, oh, they're a really good firm, because then you can get busted for fake reviews too, right?
correct. Yeah.
You can say, yeah,
But I can post a review based on my experience working there.
yeah,
That's
you could say, hey, I might be a little biased, but I chose to work here versus anywhere else because I really like the firm's culture or like whatever it is. And here's some things I've noticed by working here, right?
Yeah,
And here's some of the kinds of things that I do. And I think that, all of us, because we spend more time at work than we do with our significant others, that it's important to work with good people that you like.
for
So,
sure.
and plus we're growing. So, we always want to hire, good people. And what you see, like that's an authentic review. It's not saying like, oh, I got in a car accident and they got my claim done quickly, or there's nothing about that. It doesn't have to be that,
Yeah.
right? But there's almost no information here. And that was Milwaukee. That's your main one. Let's look at this other one. Two. There's nothing on this one. You got multiple GMBs, which allows you to run LSAs, right?
Yep.
But yeah, you can see here, there's nothing. So he can't just Chris can't just say like, oh well, Ethan, you're our digital marketing guy. You need to just wave the magic wand and do all this, or worse, pay some SEO expert. As if you can just pay someone all this money and you'll magically start ranking. There's stuff that you have to do, operationally as part of the firm, right? Because you're part of the firm now. You're in a
Yeah.
better spot than being in an agency. Agency's trying to do it for like 50 clients at the same time. You only have to do it for one. It's great.
Yeah. We are paying an agency like 1,000 because they're helping us with some things on the keyword research. Because obviously a one person show, I got other things to do on my life. I
Yeah,
can't
but you
manage.
don't need any keyword research. We just did the
So,
keyword research.
yeah.
The issue is
So
not the keyword research, right?
yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say from you is I learned that that's not really the true problem.
What needs to happen is the integration of collecting real experience from the founders, from clients in the community, from someone who's there, like you, even though
Yep.
you got a lot of things going on. I would redirect that $1,000 to having a full-time VA working just for you, not through someone else, not renting somebody, not a, one-off project, but someone full-time working for you, paycheck paid by the firm, right? Not one through me, but your VA.
Hmm.
And then you get all the stuff done. What's important is execution. I don't see that. Even though I'm sure you got a lot of things you're doing in digital marketing, but like from an SEO standpoint, there's not a lot, right? And then I ran a little Vendasta report too. So let's see, that might take a little longer to come back. Let me see. This takes like 20 hours. Okay. I only took the Milwaukee location, but you have the other ones. Let's see. Are you paying for like a Yext or a premium listing service?
Premium listing service. Yeah, like a super lawyers. I think we do. I
Okay.
think one of our attorneys does super lawyers.
Some of this stuff, it's not a huge deal, but these addresses and phone numbers and names they're a little bit inconsistent. Not a huge deal. It used to be a huge deal. Avo, that's a legal directory. Okay. Reviews are a B, really? This doesn't seem right. Oh, maybe, well, it's not Chicago or LA, so I guess it's not as competitive. Yeah, you need more reviews. Social media is not a lot going on. We can go look at are they giving you a little budget or is that like a separate thing
A budget for what?
for
For like
ads?
Facebook ads? Yeah,
Or even for
we
even for
just
like the
talked about
Google ads.
wanting to dive into that. So I just sent him a plan. I put a proposal together for two different things. I could send you that too if you want to take a look
Sure,
and
I'll take
see
a
what
look. But
you
you
think.
but you could do very simple boosting. The whole thing I teach with dollar a day,
Yeah.
and just have it basically sit on retargeting. Because the most obvious thing is people come to the website or they come to social, and you got to retarget them, right?
Yeah. So
Why
I
wouldn't
could.
you retarget them? Here he is, one mutual friend, you. Here's the law firm. There are a lot of followers, but I bet you there's no engagement on this stuff, is there?
Not a ton. That's what him and I were talking about today, actually.
Okay, so that's cool. You got a golf tournament, so it shows that you guys are real humans.
Yeah, so that's the stuff I should be putting on our Google page.
Yes, you can
I
repurpose it.
messed up on that. I should
But
be
you
adding
can
that
put
to
it
our,
everywhere. You can take the one thing and repurpose it everywhere. You don't have
yeah,
to do it for just one place. Cool. You're showing these people. There's a story. Okay. Yep. You sponsored this thing here. That's awesome. It'd be even
yeah,
better if you had a 1 minute video than just a picture because you can like guess there's kind of something going on here, but maybe these two girls have some sort of story, some kind of message, but they're just there's no
yeah.
message here. You're like halfway
Those are
there.
Chris's kids. So
Okay. Well, Chris can say, look, we're a family run firm and my kids are giving out little whatever things you're giving out, right?
can
T-shirts and
coolies and
yeah.
bottle
And
openers.
then you
Yeah,
could just have one where one of the daughters holds up like, hey, check out the little keychain thing and check out these shirts. Aren't they nice? And you see what I mean? There's just like 15-second videos, right? It's so easy.
Yeah.
Popes Fest. Okay. There's a
That's a
sign. Okay, cool.
Christmas
There's
here,
the
right?
sign, but oh, here's the TV ad. Okay.
Yeah, we got a bunch of those I haven't posted anywhere yet.
Yeah, I don't really like those things. Okay. The Wisconsin Hispanic Lawyers Association featured her. But wouldn't it be cool if she also said something in Spanish about how she was so happy to get the award? And then you also built out her profile?
Yeah, I got to build out all their profiles.
Yeah, but in proportion to how important they are, right? Okay. So you have this stuff, this thing with all the logos. All right. But you're just one step away. You're just missing the story, right? You got some pictures. Okay. You have your booth set up. All these people are smiling, but where's the story? These guys are playing golf. Okay, cool. These rich lawyers are playing golf with my money. All right. Like it's so close. Like there's social posting going on, but there's just no story. It's just a few pictures here and there. We sort of have to guess that there's a story, right? There's no human, stories, Ethan, require humans, just like your podcast. It's the story of humans, encourage mindset. It's humans that each have a story and you're telling that story. You're like a journalist. Look at these guys, they're first responders. What's the story? Why are they out here? What's going on with police people? What's the coolest thing that you've seen happen recently? Why are you smiling? Is it hot outside? I mean, there's no story. Sam's Club. Okay. Brat with a cop. Well, isn't it cool hanging out with these cops and eating these sausages? Okay. But no one's saying that. We're sort of having to infer that. See, you're like so close. Like someone's out there. There you are. But where's the story? Right.
Got
I
it.
mean, you and I have talked about this from like a year ago. Like, how much effort is it instead of taking a picture, just make a 15-second video, right? Just tell people what's going on. Today we're here in Kenosha or wherever we are, right? And I'm so proud to be with so and so, right?
Yep.
You could just say like one or two things. Or ask them a question, right? Hey, what do you think about this event and whatever? And they say something, right?
Yeah, that's
And they
smart.
repurpose that. So it's a thing that you learned this a year ago.
I know.
So if
Sometimes I get mad at myself for not doing those things.
but if you look at, why is it not going to, does it not go to the previous cover photo? Are you in our group, Digital Marketing with Dennis Yu?
I don't think so.
You should join it. Here, go join right now. I'll put it
Okay.
into the chat. And make a 15-second video introducing yourself. And then that'll help build your personal brand. So we have our 4-stage content factory. Why is it not?
Is it a Facebook group?
Yeah, it's a Facebook group.
Weird. I searched it on my Facebook and it didn't come up.
Digital Marketing with Dennis Yu.
Yeah.
But you see this, the 4 stages here, right? So in this first stage, you got to build a content library that has all your stuff in it, right? For the firm, for you, for Chris, for the other partners, right? For the Hispanic lawyer, right?
Okay.
Then use AI and whatever your favorite tools are to process it so it can live everywhere.
Showed me the script. I love it.
Yeah. But what's better is you have a VA be in charge of all that. I mean, you do it first initially to learn it. And then, your VA should handle everything here in 2, 3, and 4, and you just oversee it. So you process it using Descript and AI tools so it can live everywhere. You take the photos and videos and whatever, so it turns into articles and GMBs and Facebook and Twitter. Like you see what I mean? Like the one video picture can be used everywhere with just light tweaking or none at all, right?
Yeah.
And then you can dollar a day some of the key ones, and that's your ad budget.
Okay.
And then use our tool, our platform to build out Chris's personal brand site.
Yeah, I have the domain and everything. I have chrismcgillis.com and the whole jazz for it.
And then the AI can help you fix the location service pages, add more meat there. But if you don't give it the meat, it can't make it up, right?
Yeah.
You've got all those raw experiences you put on social. Now you just have to figure out, where those events occurred and then tie them back to those location pages. So if you have a page on Appleton, then you understand like how Google's AI has already organized all that stuff for you, right? Like, here, I'm at Marquette. Like it knows that I'm in Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
So if I was doing something about my favorite things to do in Milwaukee, I instantly have all of these things. Right.
So we got to create a Google Photos account for the firm and then share the photos through Google Photos.
Yeah, or off of Chris's thing or yours or whatever, pretty easy.
Because usually I'm taking the photos off my phone and just uploading it to my computer.
And if it's off your phone, then this is off my phone. So all this stuff is automatically here.
Okay.
And then even like boarding passes that are Milwaukee, right? That's here. Everything Milwaukee, right?
Got it.
Because I'm trying to show real experience instead of just auto-generating, hey, are you injured in Milwaukee? Well,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean anything, right?
So what I take away from what you just said the past 20 minutes, so all those events, everything we are doing, all those posts, turn those into content, put them on
Mm-hmm.
our GMBs, put them everywhere. Take our videos we shot with Scene Factory, throw those on our GMBs,
Yep.
then go down to our Google GMBs and ask ourselves some questions that the Chat GPT preview said that we should ask ourselves. Then we
Mm-hmm.
have thorough content or thorough context answers to those questions.
Yep.
Then I take Chris MacGillis, try to get some interviews with him to
Mm-hmm.
answer questions. Then I have him try to interview other personal injury lawyers, other attorneys, other high experienced people in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Then, when our firm hires a chief marketing officer in the next couple months, I create a lawyer marketing law firm podcast with him and
Mm-hmm.
grow that thing. That'll help our firm to get some traction. Then I'm going to take all of that content, repurpose that, put that on our website, then take it in on our website on MacGillisWiemer.com, maybe have another link to that podcast website, put all of that somewhere, post all of this, turn it into blog content, turn it into written content for the website, and hopefully all of that plus whatever else can generate some better leads and more SEO rankings for Chris MacGillis. Oh, and then I got to create his like Google knowledge page
Mm-hmm.
too. So I
Yep.
gotta make him Google knowledgeable. I gotta make
Yep.
Graham Wiemer. I gotta
Yep.
make myself.
Yep.
So
Yep. That Hispanic lawyer, all the
yep.
figureheads.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what the VA guy I have right now should be doing
Right.
with me rather than doing keyword research stuff.
Right. Right.
Okay,
We
cool.
need actual work done, not this keyword research nonsense.
Okay, got it.
Because the keyword research for every PI firm is the same. It just differs by city. It's all the same, promise you.
Okay,
Done it for dozens of PI firms. It's just an
cool.
excuse to like generate documents and make it look like work is happening.
Good to know because we're only like 4 or 5 months in with working with him. So it's good to just help him pivot and help me pivot, and then we can kind of change some things. And then you said to do all of those things for the Google and all of that, the Google knowledge thing to learn that was just on Blitz Metrics, how to do that.
Just do a Google search, knowledge panel, Blitz metrics. You'll see articles, you'll see our tool, all that stuff.
Okay, sounds good. Because then I'm going to start telling him right away, this is what we got to pivot to doing now.
And you could literally take our conversation here, where at the end you did an excellent summary of what we talked about. That was really good. I give that an A. I haven't seen a summary that good in at least 6 months from anybody. You leave a lot of these calls and people get confused saying like, I don't understand anything you said and whatever, but you understand, which is great. But then you can run it through the AI and say, this is a conversation we had. Please summarize it into a one pager for Chris. So he understands what I'm going to do and kind of space it out over the next 90 days, given the context of what I provided you, and make, bullet points and milestones and whatnot. Right.
Yep.
So he can measure what's going on. So he knows it's not like, okay, now you're saying I have to sit and like wait 90 days for something to happen. No, there's stuff that's happening and we'll be able to measure it along the way. Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's some aspect of doing the work, but then there's also, you have to treat your boss kind of as like a client. You're sort of
Yeah.
an internal agency, if you will, with just one client. Right.
Was this call recorded? Oh, cool.
It
It was.
should be. Yeah.
Sweet.
I think if it's in our
Hey,
Zoom,
dang it, I wish I recorded it.
what would happen if we didn't have it? Then it's like, you have to remember everything.
Yeah, but no, that's sweet that it's recorded because then I'll put it in our SharePoint on Microsoft, and then
Yeah.
I'll always look back at this, make sure we're doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely going to work with my little agency, I call him. It's just a one guy show. Work with him, tweak a lot of these things.
He might need training too, because if he's stuck in the whole keyword research, produce lists of keywords and that's called SEO analytics. That's not actual doing the work.
Yeah.
If he's, it's like someone who has a bad habit, like their golf swing is wrong and you're trying to teach them the proper way to swing. It's sometimes more difficult to unteach a bad habit.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to give you, and I think you have access to all of our training. You should, but happy to give him access to all of our stuff too.
Yeah, that would be sweet. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. So just have him or you send an email to Stephanie@blitzmetrics.com with his email,
Okay.
and then we'll add him.
Cool. Yeah, this
And
would be
then our deal is you have to pay it forward, right? I'm helping you,
yeah.
but
Oh
I
my
want
gosh, I'm
you,
gonna share this. I'm gonna make LinkedIn content galore on this. And
because think about how many Ethan Vandehays there are where they're graduating college, they don't know what to do. And this local thing is a huge, huge opportunity because it's not that hard. You're perfectly set for it. Your results are easy to measure. These, I don't want to say it the wrong way, but like old people that are business owners, they don't understand this stuff. They get, bamboozled by whatever these social media people are saying, right?
yeah.
And you
Well,
can be a great example to show that there's a real process. There's like a way to actually evaluate it that's not smoke and mirrors. It's very clear, right?
yeah. Cool. And I think there's some things I definitely learned more about Google because I mean, most of it from what I learned is backlinks, have strong backlinks, have strong, headers and all that. So it's
It's
good to,
deeper than that.
yeah, it's good to
Yeah.
know that.
Because those are all just secondary signals of you're actually good at the thing that you say you do in the city that you say you do it.
Yeah.
So who cares what you do with your anchor text and backlinks and H1s and whatever if you don't have real experience with motorcycle accidents in Appleton, right? If you
Yeah.
actually have the real experience, Judge Google is like a lie detector, is looking at, well, is there evidence of reviews? If we rank them in Chrome, in Google, and we see the Chrome activity or we see social signals, like they're trying to see like all these signals. And so trying to fake out Google by doing like linking and buying blog posts, like that's Google can see through that. And they haven't penalized anyone until really the last year.
So
Now
I
they've
was
been
gonna say,
cracking
I was
down.
gonna ask you, did this recently start? Because I feel like it did.
Yeah, in the last year, the hammer started to come down. And for the last 20 plus years, Ethan, these SEO guru people have all tried to argue with me, showing me how, yeah, you say all that, but clearly Google's dumb and we've been able to get away with it and it works. I'm like, yeah, it works because you're in like a super non-competitive area, like,
Yeah.
Waukesha personal injury attorney. Like there's not a lot of competition. So they're like, and I had a conversation with the head of search quality at Google about this. And I said, I'm really pissed off about all these garbage spun location service pages that are all just generic copied pages, just switching out the city name. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
your site basically, right?
Yeah.
And he told me, well, I'm with you on that, but all the sites are so bad. Like there's so little real experience. I mean, sure, there's a picture of the golf tournament or like, but there's so little information that this is what we have to work with. And
Yeah.
I mean, we got to show something when people do a search. So that's just unfortunately all there is.
Cool. Well, it's good to know that it's good to catch this early so we can make these changes now rather than do it later.
But think about the impact you'll make over just 90 days, right? This is not just like, because most people view content and SEO and whatever is like, oh, every week we got to post X number of pieces of content.
yeah.
I view it as like, Ethan, you are building a house and there's a construction plan. And when the house is done, there's going to be maintenance, but the bulk of the work is done. And so there's ongoing ROI, right? So once you've done that, you could do nothing and the SEO will be up here because you put in place a process to collect reviews you don't have to keep making more content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a social media. It's not the newspaper where every day there has to be like weather or, something going on, right?
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
about just building out the structure first.
yeah. Well, I appreciate you being able to be flexible with your time and hop on for a call. And
Yeah.
I'll respond to your email about my website.
Good.
And then I'll get on this MacGillis Wiemer stuff right away. And
Good.
it'd be cool if you could check in and maybe I'll reach out to you and I'll make sure to do it in like 90 days and see if.
Well, sooner than that, right? Don't wait until 90 days are up because that might be too late. I could maybe going like the wrong direction. I could have said something earlier that could have saved you a lot of time.
Yeah, cool. Well, when do you think I should check in?
You can come. We have our weekly coaching calls at 2 p.m. Pacific Thursdays. So every Thursday. So that's like 4 p.m. your time, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So you can come to any of those and just send a note to Stephanie and we'll let you in.
Okay, cool.
And you can share your results and lots of things going on. But I'd say first thing, as soon as we hang up, just make your 1-minute video, put it on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Talk about what you've learned and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do. And I'll tag you.
Awesome, Ethan.
Hey.
And just reach out anytime. I'm here.
Appreciate it. I will respond to those emails. And then if you could send me this Zoom recorded show when you can. But once again, really appreciate everything you do for me.
Awesome, Ethan. You rock.
All right. Take care, Dennis. Have a good night.
All right. See you.